Hi guys! This is the moment you've all been waiting for, and I was just saying to Sarah before we hit the go live, I said to her, we do these calls every night, Monday to Friday, different people host, and this is the one that everybody has been so excited by. Like, we've literally had an influx of people joining the group to watch Sarah and talk about her journey with Arbonne and everything she wants to share with us all. So give us a massive hello in the comments if you're watching live. Let us know where you're calling in from. For me, it's Leicestershire. Sarah, what about yourself?
I'm in Sutton, so South East London.
Okay, lovely. So let us know in the comments. Now, we are going to do a little giveaway tonight. So I received these strawberry flavoured fizz sticks today. Now, these have not even been launched yet. Myself and Sarah are actually going to Las Vegas in a couple of weeks for the grand launch of all the new products, including strawberry flavoured fizz sticks. So I've got a sneaky little box, an early box of them, and I've made a strawberry fizz stick while we're doing this call. And I said that the top 3 people that comment on this Facebook Live, I'm going to send a strawberry flavoured fizz stick to you in the post tomorrow. So that's anybody, guests, family, friends, consultants, regardless as to what team you're in, the top 3 people that comment are going to receive a strawberry fizz stick. So let us know where you're calling in from, where you live. Let us know if you're on half term as well, because me and Sarah are both on half term with our children, and I don't know what we've both done to the children, but they're both ends are quiet, aren't they?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, my kids are at my mother-in-law's, so that's probably why.
That's why then. Mine are upstairs, but they're being very quiet, which is great. Okay, so we're going to kick this off. I'm going to share a little bit about my story, and then I'm going to hand over to Sarah, and then we're going to talk to you about how we've got involved with this company, what products we like, a bit about the products, and then a little bit about where you might see yourself. So with my story, I have a completely different background to the legend that is Sarah Edwards-Knight. So my background, I actually used to work in ophthalmology. So I used to work for Specsavers Opticians. Let us know in the comments where you guys work or where you used to work, if you used to work somewhere. So I worked for Specsavers and I absolutely loved what I did. I worked with them for about 7 years and I actually thought I'd retire with Specsavers. And what happened was, I've got 2 children. Any parents on the line right now? Let us know in the comments if you've got children or fur babies. I know lots of you have got fur babies, so let us know. So I've got 2 children. And my second daughter, unfortunately, had a brain hemorrhage and a stroke, and it came completely out of the blue. So I don't know if anybody else on the call now has ever had that, like with a parent or with a sibling or a friend or a child, where something happened and it's literally like, where did that come from? Like, this curveball just came out of nowhere. You always kind of think, oh, you know, bad stuff happens to other people. It never happens to me. So that was our life 7 years ago. My daughter had this brain hemorrhage and a stroke, and she was rushed into hospital. She was on life support and then intensive care and a high dependency ward. And I actually took, I think it was a year off work, like being with her in hospital. And she did make a recovery, but she was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. And after about a year of being off work and obviously not being paid because I wasn't working, the boss that owned the Specsavers franchise that I worked for said to me, Danny, what's going on? Like, are you coming back to work? Like, what's happening? If anyone's got staff who's watching right now, like, I can totally understand why, as a boss, you'd have to ask this. And I had to say to him, do you know what? I'm not coming back to work. Like, my daughter, although she'd made a recovery, she still had like fits and seizures, and she needed physiotherapy and speech and language, and I just couldn't merge the 2. So I ended up leaving. Now, when I left my job, I left behind my income. So I waved goodbye to like £1,200 a month of pay that I was receiving. That was gone. And I also left like my identity behind, and I kind of became my daughter's full-time carer. Now, some people do that gladly, and I mean, no judgment upon anybody, but for me, spending 2 years being my daughter's full-time carer, I'd completely lost who I was. I ended up with depression and anxiety. I was on medication for it. I didn't want to leave the house, and I was literally at the lowest point in my entire life. So I was on Facebook one day moaning about my life situation. And a girl actually reached out to me and she said, Danny, I need to tell you about this Arbonne thing. Now, I'm the sort of person that's really open-minded. So I was like, go on then, let's meet for a coffee tomorrow. It's on you, and gets me out of the house, gets me a free coffee, and you can tell me about Arbonne. So the next day, I met her and she said to me, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. I said, go for it. She was like, number one, have you heard of Arbonne before? And I was like, no, I'd never, ever, ever heard of it. She was like, number two, are you aware that a lot of products that people buy that fill like their dressing table, fill their kitchen, fill their bathroom, or the bathroom cupboards, all these day-to-day products like shampoo, toothpaste, deodorant, face wash, makeup, nutrition, blah, blah, blah. Do you know that a lot of these products have got toxins in that cause like long-term damage? There's loads of links now with like autoimmunes and sometimes cancers and like eczema, like all these links. And I just sat there, and you guys might think I'm really naive. Let me know if you knew this pre finding out Arbonne. But I just sat there and I was like, no, I had no idea. And it was really interesting because both my kids had really bad eczema. I'd been diagnosed with lupus, and my husband had fibromyalgia. So when she started saying this, I kept thinking, oh my gosh, like our products might be contributing. And she was like, question number three, are you aware that when products are sold in shops, the products go up 80% in price to pay for the shop route cost, you know, pay for advertising and all that? And I kind of was, because when we were sat there having the coffee, I thought £3.50 for this coffee that she's just paid for me, probably cost 20p to make. But obviously they've got to pay for the staff, they've got to pay for the overhead, you know, the insurances, blah, blah, blah. So I kind of was aware of that. And she said to me, you're going to love this, Danni. There's this company called Arbonne. It's got a Swiss heritage. I was thinking, tick, Switzerland. Like, they make the best things, don't they, from Switzerland? Watches, chocolates. I was like, tick. She said, it's been around for 40 years. I was like, tick. If this company's been around for that long, I'm pretty happy with that. And she said, and the best bit is they make these ultra premium products. I won't talk about that for too long because Sarah's going to. They make these ultra premium products and they don't sell them in the shops. So they don't have to go up 80% in price. And people like you and I, we can get these products at cost. And if we make a recommendation to somebody, like you would recommend, I don't know, a film, a restaurant, she was saying, and I was like, yeah, I recommend films and restaurants. She goes, yeah, if you make a recommendation about these products, you get paid for it. And I just sat there and I just thought, oh my goodness me, I'm in. And I signed up straight away. This was 5 years ago. And it has completely changed my life. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that in a moment, but it has transformed our lives in ways I can't even express in the next 20 minutes. Like, it's just been incredible. So I'm going to hand you over to Sarah. Hang on, Sarah, I've got some music for you as well. There we go, hang on. So I'm going to hand you over to Sarah, who's going to share her story. Do you like it?
I love that intro.
Over to you.
Thank you so much, Danni, and I always love hearing your story. I really, really do. So I am Sarah Edwards-Knight, and I am a brand new Regional Vice President with Arbonne. So, woo! So I, most importantly, I'm a mama to 3 kids. So I've got a 6-year-old boy and I've got twins that are 4. I am also a yoga teacher, and for the last 18 years, I've been a hair and makeup artist. When Arbonne was introduced to me, life was pretty hectic and I really wasn't looking for anything else. But I was on maternity leave with the twins. I think they were about 6 months old, and I went to a coffee shop with my friend Ashley Haynes, Executive Regional Vice President Ashley. And we got chatting about this new business that she'd started. And my kids were really, really eczema prone. I was always going off to the GP to get hydrocortisone and other kind of chemical-based products to treat them. So immediately I was, interested by this kind of more botanically based kind of remedy for their eczema. So I started using the products on them, and within about 2 weeks, their eczema had cleared up, which was brilliant. And I used to always have an eczema patch on my ring finger, and I never really thought anything of it. And as a mum, you concentrate more on your kids than you do on yourself. But just as a byproduct of using kind of the creams on them, I realised that my eczema patch had gone. And in the last 3 years, it hasn't come back, which is just amazing. So that was my intro to Arbonne. I was then told by Ashley that they had an amazing makeup range. And to be honest, I was a bit of a makeup snob. I was used to using kind of the big powerhouses in makeup, so Charlotte Tilbury, MAC, Bobbi Brown, Chanel, using those on my clients, my presenters, my models. And I thought, how can this little vegan brand compare with these big kind of powerhouses in the makeup world? But I was also aware that there was this kind of wave of change, this interest that was kind of building momentum in cruelty-free products. Because if you ask most people about products, I would say 100% of them would say, I definitely don't want my products tested on an animal. So, you know, at the very most basic level, that's what most people would say. But I noticed with people that were sitting in my makeup chair that there was this kind of interest growing. And I certainly didn't want anything in my makeup kit that, say if a vegan sat in my chair and said, do you have anything vegan? And I had nothing in the kit, that would almost be as bad as not having the darkest shade in foundation if I had a beautiful dark-skinned model in my chair. So, you know, I was thinking, okay, maybe I need to start looking at this makeup range. So I took it away for the weekend with kind of reservations on what the pigment would be like, whether it would be strong enough, whether it would translate on camera, whether it would just look good enough. And I was completely blown away. So I really liked the makeup, but the business opportunity really kind of resonated with me, because although I love being a makeup artist and I truly think it's the best job in the world, and I feel very blessed to have done that for so long, I was also thinking that I've got these 3 little children. At the time, it was 3 kids under 3, and I couldn't see myself doing shift work forever. And I was managing a big team at Sky, so I was the head of hair and makeup at Sky for 5 years. And I basically grew up at Sky. I was there for 15 years of my career. I met my wife there. I had a really happy time there. But I kind of thought that I do want to spend more time at home with my kids and still earn the salary that I was earning. But I knew that I would always be a makeup artist as well. And that's really nice, because now I get to choose to do the makeup jobs that I really want to do. So in sort of tail end of last year, I got to work on X Factor, which was just a dream job for me. I've watched it for many years. But the interesting thing there was the X Factor makeup department had made a kind of commitment to go cruelty free. And I think my expertise sort of, and my knowledge around botanically based makeup and cruelty free makeup, vegan makeup, made it possible for me to then be selected as part of that team, because I was a kind of an authority on that, and I had good knowledge and experience of working with those kind of products. So yeah, it's been a really, really exciting time. In terms of like who I've worked with before, I've worked with royalty. I've made up Prince Harry. He wasn't too much of a tough job, but a really nice guy. I've almost who else have I made up? Yes, Margot Robbie. So I made her up when she was a 17-year-old, very fresh-faced in Neighbours. I did a run of NVP commercials with her in Australia about 10 years ago now. So, you know, I've had a wonderful career and I feel very blessed to have been a makeup artist, but I feel equally blessed to have Arbonne in my life because of the choices that it is giving me, and just to see the growth in my team and to see all the nurturing that I did at the beginning, nurturing these leaders who are now building their own teams and nurturing their teams in the same way. It's just brilliant. And the Arbonne culture, just everything. I absolutely love it. So that's kind of my story.
Oh my goodness. And with you saying that you worked with Margot Robbie, I was on the phone to Fiona McCarthy earlier. I said, I'm interviewing Sarah. You know, she's absolutely amazing. She's worked on the X Factor. She's the head hair and makeup artist of Sky TV. She worked with royalty. She's worked with Margot Robbie. You know, Margot Robbie. And Fiona was like, you know, she's in that film, Focus, with Will Smith. Fiona was like, no. I said, The Wolf of Wall Street. She's in that. Fiona was like, no. I was like, Cottontail on Peter Rabbit.
Actually,
yeah.
I didn't know that. I just think she's done so well, and she's such a beauty as well. She really is.
She absolutely is. Okay, so let me start off by telling you guys the story of Arbonne, and then I'm going to hand back over to the very wonderful Sarah to tell you a little bit about the products and the industry of network marketing. So the thing that got my heart was the story of Arbonne. So this is the story. So there was a man called Peter Mork, and he grew up with a single mum, and she had to work 3 different jobs to basically make ends meet. So I don't know if anybody on the call right now has got multiple different jobs. Let us know in the comments. Like, massive respect to you if you have. So she was working all these different jobs, and she obviously didn't have a lot of time with her family because she was trying to keep a roof over the heads of her children. Single mum, massive respect. And what happened was Petter grew up seeing his mum like this, and he started to develop this vision. He really wanted, he felt very empowered to help women. Obviously Arbonne's for men as well, but this is kind of like where it started from. He felt he wanted to do something that was going to help women. And what he really, really wanted was to enable women to work part-time but get paid enough money, like a full-time income if you like, so that they could still work but they could also be at home with their children. They wouldn't have to miss out on like assemblies, they wouldn't have to miss out on like harvest festival and the nativity, all the things that come along with having children that are like the extra things that we don't teach them in antenatal classes. And so he ended up working for a company that he was a botanist, so he worked with like plants and he made products. And the company that he worked for were, like Sarah was saying about animal testing, this company tested on animals. They used products that were known to be bad for the environment. They used ingredients in their products that they knew were going to be causing the people that put the products onto their skin long-term damage. And we know, this was 40 years ago, but we know now when we see on Facebook, this company in particular is always being taken to court for all the things that they knowingly did to people. So Petter actually walked away from this job. He left the company, walked away, and said, I'm going to set up the first, or one of the first, skincare, cosmetics and nutrition companies. I'm going to develop the product line, and the products are not going to be tested on animals. They're going to be good for the environment. They're going to be good for the skin. So when people put these products like into or onto their body, they're good for them. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to sell my products in shops, because if I sell my products in a shop, they're going to go up in price. And also when products are sold in shops, they have to have things like parabens in. I know Sarah's going to touch on that more in a moment. And he was anti this. He didn't want nasty chemicals, nasty toxins in his products. So he decided that he was actually going to empower women and men as well to set up their own business. They were going to get their own like online franchise, if you like, and it comes with like a special, our websites come with like a special URL, like a special e-commerce website. And he said these people are going to use the products and then they're going to share their opinions, and if somebody buys a product based on their opinion, they're going to get paid for it. So I thought, gosh, this man sounds amazing. To me, he sounds like Walt Disney, who obviously had an idea to create the happiest place on earth, and everyone thought he was crazy, but look where he got to with Disney. So I loved Petter's vision. So I jumped in and I started my business straight away. And what happened to me was the first thing that I started using was the kids range products. So like Sarah, my kids had really bad eczema, and I would use ointments on them. And sometimes it would go, but it would more often than not come back, and they'd literally be like scratching in the night, like till they were bleeding in pain. And so I started using the baby care range. And now I will say this, when I first bought the hair and body wash from the baby range, this is in English sterling, so I'm sorry if you're calling in from another country, I can translate this afterwards. I saw that the hair and body wash was £15. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I was used to spending £1 on hair and body wash. So I was like, £1 or £15. And I was a bit like hesitant, but my friend said to me, okay, Danny, first of all, those products come with a full 45-day money back guarantee. Like, would you pay £15 for a product if it actually worked and it helped your kid's skin? And I said, as a parent, 100% yes. I said, but what I'm not happy about, Emma, is spending £15 on a product and it doesn't work. And she goes, if that's the case, Danny, because everything's got a 45-day money back guarantee, if it doesn't work for you like it has done for me, we'll get the bottle sent back. Even if it's all used up, we'll get it sent back and get your refund. I was like, fine. And the other thing she said was it lasts so much longer. So for me, I was going through a £1 hair and body wash every week. When I bought the Arbonne one, yes, it was £15, but 2 children for me, it actually lasted me 6 months. So actually when I divided it, I was saving money. So I bought the hair and body wash, and it did get rid of my kids' bad skin, and their skin was beautiful. Within a couple of days, I was on the school run, and some of the school run mums were saying to me, gosh, Danny, look at your kids' skin, like, because they used to have eczema on their face as well, so you could see the difference. They were like, look at their skin. I was like, I know, right? So 4 of the mums said to me, what is it you're using? So I said, oh, I'm using these Arbonne products like Swiss, like plant-based products, good for the environment, no, not tested on animals, really clean, no nasty toxins. So 4 of the mums said to me that they wanted to buy the products. And I said to them, do you know what? You can't actually buy Arbonne products. They're completely exclusive. You have to know an independent consultant to have like access to the website. And I actually have a website that you can shop on. So when you go home, when I get home from the school run, I'm going to send you the website. You go on like you would on Amazon Prime. You put everything in your shopping basket. I don't deliver any catalogs. I don't deliver the products. I don't take any money off you. It's like all done online. And they were like, brilliant. So those 4 women went home. I sent them on Facebook Messenger my URL, and they shopped and they bought the products. Now, I will say that I did get paid for those 4 referrals. My first paycheck was £12.50. Like, if anyone's a consultant now on the line, let us know what your first paycheck was. So my husband thought that was hilarious. He was like, oh my gosh, you're doing this thing, you just earned £12.50. I actually was pretty proud of myself, because I hadn't been working for 2 years. I was actually on benefits at the time, so I was quite pleased with myself. But what happened was, those 4 people that bought the products, they saw the same results that I saw. Like, they didn't send the products back, they saw the same results. one of them, her next door neighbour, peered over the fence and was like, what have you done to his skin? It looks amazing. And the mum that I knew said to her neighbour, oh, I've been using this Arbonne products from a mum that I know at school. Like they had that conversation that we'd had. And this next door neighbour got my website and ordered the products off my website. Now, I got paid for that. I did not know that next door neighbour, but the friend passed my website on to her neighbour. Now, the neighbour used the baby care range, saw the same results. She told somebody at work. Somebody at her work went onto my website and I got paid for that. So it started off with 4 people initially, but those 4 people shared my website in America, Canada, Australia, in New Zealand, in Poland, and all over the UK. Now, within 12 months, I had 1,000 people ordering from my website across the globe. My paycheck was no less than £3,000 a month. So it started off at £12.50, but because my website was being shared, and that was what Petter wanted. Petter Mork's vision when he started Arbonne, when he founded this company 40 years ago, was to empower people like myself that are spread too thin, and they just can't do everything. They're just like, something's got to give. Now, this business has enabled me to let my husband leave his job. He was in a job that he hated. He was able to leave that job. This business has enabled me to come off benefits. And the best bit about this business over the last 5 years is I haven't felt stress. Like, I do not feel stress at all. Like, don't get me wrong, I get adrenaline, and like doing this call right now, it's exciting and the adrenaline's flowing, but there's no stress. And that was what Petter wanted. He wanted people to start a business like this around everything else that they do, but for the business to take off to the point where, for me, it was only a year. I know some people it's a little bit less, some people it's a little bit more, but it was only a year for me. My business took off, and it enabled my life. It enabled me to do the things that I wanted to do. I wanted to take my kids on an all-expensive trip to Disney World in Florida, and we were able to do that. And not only were we able to do it, I could book for 2 weeks and not like go, oh, well, we can only go for 5 days. I was able to book the flights that I wanted to book and not think, well, we're going to have to connect because it's cheaper. And if we go here and connect 3 times and we go at night time at these really awkward times, it's going to be cheaper. But no. I was able to book the exact flights that I wanted. It just opens up doors and it enables you to dream again. So that was Petter's vision. And he set up this company with that in mind. And I just love the heart of this company. Okay, over to you, Sarah.
Oh, I love that. I love hearing from you, Danni. It's so exciting. So I'm going to talk to you about the Arbonne product advantage. And now, I've always been a product person, and you might be sitting on the call thinking, actually, I'm not into products. I'm not one of those product people. And that's fine, because you can work this business without necessarily being a product person. But when I was just thinking about that and listening to you, Danni, I remember driving away from Sky about to go on maternity leave. And I kind of said to myself, I want to make a commitment when I come back after a year to really learn more about what's in the products that I'm using. And I remember having this kind of question in my head, or sort of saying the statement to myself. It's almost like I threw it out there. And then within kind of 9 months, something landed in my lap that allowed me to kind of invest in products and really find out sort of the nitty gritty, what's involved. So, be careful what you wish for is what I would say. So what is our Arbonne product advantage? So we mix the very best of science with the best of nature. So as Danni said earlier, we are built on a Swiss heritage. And what that means is, if you think about anything that's Swiss, it really, really is the best of the best. So as Danni says, so think about Swiss watches, chocolates, pen knives, you name it, the best of the best is Swiss. And if you think of the best, or the most sort of the highest price point of products sort of sitting in department stores, you're looking at maybe like Creme de la Mer and La Prairie, £100 a pot of moisturiser, and they are Swiss formulated. So we kind of adhere to these kind of guidelines. What else have I got to say? So we are clinically tested, which is brilliant, but we are clinically tested on human beings, which is wonderful. No bunnies or other small or large animals have to come to any harm by the testing of our products. But it is very important that products are clinically tested, because they have to be safe as well. What else to say? So we are certified vegan, and actually it's very, very hard to get the vegan stamp of approval. And I think last year we were #1 on Petter's list of vegan, top vegan companies. So go and have a little look on their website, because that gives you a long list of sort of what's vegan and what's not. Because sometimes it's very hard to tell. Sometimes there might be a brand that says that they're vegan, but actually what they mean is there's a small section of products in their product range that is vegan, but they're not necessarily a vegan product line, so to speak. So we are certified vegan, we are cruelty-free, we are gluten-free, and we also have the Informed Sport stamp of approval as well. So in terms of our nutrition, it's really nice that athletes and anyone from a sporting background that is maybe in a team scenario. I was speaking to somebody in the army the other day, and they said that even they have to have products or use products that have that Informed Sport stamp of approval as well, because it's kind of being tested, and that's really, really important. So I also wanted to touch on Dr. Peter McTravis. So he is our head of formulations, and he joined us, I think it was about 10 years ago. And he used to be the head of formulation with Aveda, and Aveda are known for kind of botanically based hair products. And they were bought out by Estee Lauder. And when that happened, he decided to jump ship, and he had the pick of the bunch. And when it came to botanical companies, and he chose Arbonne, so he chose us to work with. And this dude is absolutely amazing, because if I've ever got a question about anything, so recently I had a question about nut allergies, and did this particular product contain a specific nut? I pinged him an email. He responded within 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And I emailed him actually on Sunday last week, and he emailed back on a Sunday. I mean, this is incredible that we can speak directly with the guy that's actually producing and making our products if we have any kind of, any question at all, which is just absolutely amazing to have that kind of, to be able to tap into that resource. So I thought it was good to touch on him. So our tagline is pure, safe and beneficial. So pure is in relation to the pure ingredients that we source from around the world, so globally sourced ingredients. Safe because, as I say, that they're clinically tested, and we've got lots of clinical trials that we can draw that information from. And beneficial is really important as well, because it might be very nice to slap a banana or an avocado on your face that might be 100% natural, 100% organic, but it might not be actually doing anything for your skin. It might not be reversing the signs of aging or whatever it may be. Whereas our products, which are botanically based, they are active. They are doing something good for your skin. So our RE9 range, our flagship range, we have very active ingredients in there which are physically doing things to your skin. Our makeup range is a treatment range, for example. So we have lots of the key botanicals within the skincare activating throughout the makeup as well. So it's doing your skin good, because it's all very well using either a botanical makeup range but using not botanical skincare underneath, or vice versa. You're kind of doing yourself an injustice, really. So yeah, pure, safe and beneficial. Some of the things that we formulate without, which I think is important to touch on, we have a banned ingredients list of 2,000 ingredients, and that's growing year on year, which is super duper exciting. But one of the key things for me is mineral oil. So mineral oil is a byproduct from the petrol industry. It's cheaper to give mineral oil to a cosmetics company as a cheap, bulky filling agent than it is to actually dispose of it. I mean, how incredible is that? I mean, it's just a joke, really. And sometimes if you look on the back of your packaging, it will quite obviously say 100% petroleum. So you're literally putting petrol on your face. And yeah, it might act as a barrier to the wind and the rain, but it's not actually nourishing your skin in any way. So we definitely formulate without mineral oil. And actually a lot of baby products have mineral oil and petroleum in them, which is, in this day and age, it's disgusting, really. So we formulate without that. We formulate without parabens. So who knows what a paraben is? Put it in the comments section below. But I'm going to ruin that anyway, because I'm going to tell you. So a paraben is a synthetic preservative.
Arbonne, I had no idea, and I love the fact that I'm doing Arbonne now because of what it's done for me. But if nothing else, I'm glad that I learned about what parabens are.
Absolutely. I mean, and the thing is, why would we necessarily know unless you kind of look into it? But a paraben is a synthetic preservative. It's there to help extend the shelf life of a product to up to 7 years. So we formulate without parabens. So we use natural preservatives like bilberries and blueberries to kind of act as that kind of preserving agent. So we also formulate without sulfate. So sodium lauryl sulfate is a big one. It's kind of a foaming agent that's in almost every hand wash, shampoo, shower gel, whatever it may be. So we formulate without that because it can be quite an an irritant, and again, as Danny said, can often be linked to other things as well. So instead, we use like a seaweed algae to create that foaming agent, but it's also kind of a common misconception that you need to get your hair really lathered up to make it clean. You know, it's not true. You actually only need to use a tiny bit of the product, you know, really work it in your hands and then sort of work it through the hair as well. So these are all the things we formulate without, and synthetic dyes, preservative, fragrances, all of that as well. So it's, you know, I love that about our products. So moving on, so our product line, so wow, we've really got something for everyone. And as I touched upon at the beginning of this, you know, people may say, I'm not a product person, but most people will have cleaned their teeth at the beginning of the day and the end of the day. Most people will have had a wash, you hope, or a shower. So even if you're not a product person, you will be using products. You will be going to a shop of some kind or be buying it online anyway. Or you may be using 30 products a day before you even leave the house. You know, you may be a product queen. And so we have literally something for everyone. So we've got the RE9 skincare range, which I touched on. We have the fabulous Genius Ultra device, which uses ultrasound technologies and thermal technology to penetrate our already active ingredients to a deeper cellular level. And that was groundbreaking. We launched that in Vegas last year, which was super duper exciting. We have a treatment range, we have an acne range, we have the ABC range, we have the nutrition range, which for me is sort of the biggest sort of growing arm of my business. Because if you think someone might run out of, you know, a moisturizer maybe every 3 months, perhaps, or a foundation every 6 months, maybe to 12 months. But if someone's using a protein shake or a fizz stick or a digestion aid in some way, they're going to run out of that every 30 days. So if they like those products and they're feeling the benefit, then every 30 days they're going to be rebuying. So it actually makes really good business sense. So that's why I think nutrition as a whole across Arbonne has had this massive growth in the last few years. So yeah, baby care, hair care, and obviously what you know, the range that's close to my heart is the makeup range as well. So that's a treatment range. So the most important thing to say with this, as I just touched upon, is that it's consumable. So people will run out of these products. They will have to go and buy them, you know, regardless of whether we're in a recession or we're waiting to hear the Brexit verdict. You know, there's all this kind of state of uncertainty and anxiety, you know, in the UK alone. You know, despite this, people might not necessarily go on holiday or buy that house or buy that car, but they may well buy a lipstick to make themselves feel better. And they will definitely still buy deodorant and toothpaste, you would think. So the fact that these are consumable products is just, it's business 101. My mother-in-law, she did Tupperware in the 80s. So, and she was really, really good at this as well. But once she'd sold Tupperware to her whole network and maybe their network and their network, you know, once everyone's got their Tupperware, they don't need to buy any more Tupperware, do they? So, you know, that's why having a consumable business is just the way to go. So that's kind of the products in a nutshell. I'm now going to touch upon the social marketing network as a whole and just sort of work you through that, because you might be thinking, oh, what on earth is that? So let me just touch on that for you now. So we have like a traditional retail model that we all know, really. So, you know, the products are made by the manufacturer. It then goes through a series of middlemen. So you've got the wholesaler, the warehouser, the sales force team on the shop floor. You've got millions of pounds are invested in advertising. And then finally it gets to the consumer. So if we were available in a department store, for example, based on the Swiss heritage and based upon the high quality of formulation, we would sit at that very high price point with kind of Creme de la Mer and La Prairie, for example. But because we are not available in store, it drives the price right down because we cut out all of those middlemen. And I love the fact that my friends are not buying a product because, I don't know, Kate Winslet is the face of Lancome or Cheryl Cole is the face of L'Oreal, you know, whether she uses that or not. She's paid millions of dollars to be the face of it and kind of flick her hair about. But, you know, by saving that chunk of money in the middle, it drives the price down for our consumers, so our clients and our preferred clients. But it also allows Arbonne to pay consultants like myself and Danny a wonderful wage, wonderful cash bonuses to buy a white Mercedes, which is wonderful because I'm absolutely in love with my new car. And also for annual incentive trips as well. So Danny and I both won last year's incentive trip to Jamaica. Woo! And that's available to anyone at any level. You don't need to be kind of an RVP or an NVP. You can earn that as a brand new consultant if you start working your business in the right way. So all of that money in the middle gets distributed in a really, really wonderful way that helps the consumer, but helps you as a consultant as well, which is always Petta's vision.
Wow. Do you know what people are saying in the comments? What are your favourite products? What are your desert island products?
Okay, cool. I wrote this down actually. So my top 3 favourite products are, so you might be surprised by my first one, but my first one is Digestion Plus. So as part of the 30 Days to Healthy Living program that we have, and I'm running a vegan only program at the moment. So I run both, but this month I'm doing a vegan only one. Out of those products that are available within that ASVP pack, the Digestion Plus sachet, which you can put in a glass of water and knock it back on its own, but I tend to mix it with a Mind Health sachet and a fizz stick. Pomegranate's my favourite. Mix it all up and then I down that. You can also mix it into your protein shakes as well. That, I feel, has cured me of IBS. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not saying that that will cure you of your IBS symptoms, but I've basically suffered from IBS all of my adult life, and now I do not suffer from my symptoms. And I'm putting it down to the fact that my gut health is in tip-top condition. So yeah, Digestion Plus, it's amazing. The gel eye masks, oh my goodness, who's tried the gel eye masks? Write in the comments below, they're just gorgeous. I love to use them on myself. They're great if you've had a couple of glasses of wine the night before. But as a makeup artist, I don't know if there's any makeup artists on this live tonight, but when I'm prepping a presenter's hair, I'll put the gel eye masks on them so that they can be enjoying them, especially if like it's a 4 o'clock start in the morning, if it's breakfast news, they've got to be on air for 6 o'clock. While I'm prepping the hair, I put the gel eye masks on. And then when I finish the hair, I take the gel eye mask off and I start the makeup, and it instantly relieves, puffy eyes, tired eyes, in the summer, anyone that's got allergies, pollen and all of that, it really, really, really helps. So yeah, gel eye mask, my second one. And then I've got 2 more. So It's a Long Story mascara. I've always been a fan of long lashes, but I always used to get an imprint on my lid. Don't know if anybody else has ever suffered from that. And there was only one mascara, I think it was by Terry, that I could get from Space NK, that was really expensive. And that was the only one that didn't do that. And the Arbonne mascara doesn't do it either. And that's packed full of protein, so it helps to rebuild your lashes as well. So it's great if you've ever had eyelash extensions, or anyone that's had and their own eyelashes have kind of dropped out after using them. And then my last favourite product is the CC cream. And we do it, there's 2 styles. There's one without SPF, which I prefer because it's more dewy, and I've got quite dry skin, so I prefer that one. Or there's the one with SPF, and that's great for more oily skins because it's got a slightly more matte kind of texture, I would say. So they're my top faves.
Oh, I love it. Let us know in the comments what your guys' top 3, or if you're going to be sneaky like Sarah, 4 favourite products are. Okay, so what did you say your favourite fizz stick was? Pomegranate?
Yeah, defo.
Hot or cold?
Oh, both. I like a tizzy.
Oh, yes, good one. What about protein? Chai, vanilla or chocolate?
I like chai hot, like instead of a hot chocolate, but I would say vanilla if I'm mixing in berries, but chocolate if I'm just drinking it straight. It's gorgeous.
Okay, what about the eyeshadow palettes? Are you a palette 1 or a palette 2 girl?
Oh, my clients love the warmer shades. So I can't remember if that's 2 or 1, but it's definitely the warmer palette. And there's kind of coppery burnt umber tones. But I'm a big kind of opal fan, so that I think is in the cooler shades palette.
It's nice to have both, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And somebody else said, what Mercedes did you go for?
I went for an A-class. It's a sporty version.
That's what I've got.
Have you? Oh, good.
I've got the A-class Sport.
Yes, I've got the same. No, we've got like a family car, and then I've always had like a little nip around car. But I wanted something for me, and I wanted something kind of, nippy and sporty. So yeah, that's my first one. I don't know what I'll get as my second one.
Have you got the one where you can talk to it and go, hey, Mercedes, take me to so-and-so road? I do not understand.
I know. I love it at the end of a really long day. I love just getting into my car, put my seatbelt on and going, hey, Mercedes, take me home.
Yeah. Yeah, brilliant. I love having that in my car.
It's funny, actually, just on the car, I remember talking to someone in my upline. It was like a coaching call. And I think I was going for region, or it was a strong area at the time. And I remember saying, the car isn't really a driving force for me, like, pardon the pun. And she was like, Sarah, fall in love with the car, because what the car means is that you've built your business to this really wonderful level and that you're helping so many other people do the same. And it really switched something in my head. So if you're thinking the same, you know, I'm not into cars, or why does it have to be white, or any of those things, honestly, stepping foot into that brand new car, the smell of a new car, I've absolutely fallen in love with it. It's my butterfly car.
Oh, I love that. I love it. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about the compensation plan, and then if there's any questions, we'll answer those questions. So as you start building your business, like I did in the beginning, you start talking about these products to people, and how me and Sarah and I, should I say, start building our businesses. We literally just talk to people in the same way that we would talk about a movie. So I recently went to see the new Dumbo movie. Like, comment if anyone's seen the new Dumbo movie. Oh my gosh, be careful though if you do, take tissues. And I've told people about it. I'm telling you guys now on the line. Now, there's nearly 80 of you that are on the live right now. Not all of you are going to go to the cinema and watch the Dumbo movie because I said it's amazing. Some of you might not like the cinema. Some of you might have already been to see it. Some of you might not like the idea of the remake of Dumbo. And that's cool. But some of you might. Some of you might go, do you know what? Danny says the new Dumbo movie's all right. I think I might take the kids tomorrow in half term to go and see it. Let me know if you do. And if you go and see it, let me know what you think. And if you were to go to the cinema because I recommended it, then I would get paid for that referral if we put this into Arbonne terms. The cinema, unfortunately, are not going to pay me for the referral, but if we put it into Arbonne terms, they do. Now, for all the people that don't go to the cinema to watch the Dumbo movie, I do not lose any sleep over that. Like, I don't consider myself a salesperson. I'm just sharing information, and that is how Sarah and I build our business. We share our information about the eye gel pads, about the mascara, about the fizz sticks. Some people, they don't use mascara, they don't need extra energy, and that's fine. We don't lose any sleep over that. But some of the people that go, do you know what, I have IBS myself, and actually Sarah said something about these Digestion Plus. Now imagine you then decide to buy these products, we would get paid, whoever's website it was, for that recommendation. So what happens is you end up promoting to level number 1 in Arbonne. So comment below if you've ever promoted to level 1 district manager. Now for me, it took me 4 months to become a district manager. Sarah, what about yourself?
2.
2? Woo! She's on fire. So when you become a district manager, you tend to earn about £500 a month. Some people it's a little bit less, some people a little bit more. So comment what you would do if you were building an Arbonne business online, like it's running 24/7, you know, you've got an app on your phone, you're still doing your main job, whatever that is, and I include being a parent in that. So whatever your main thing is, you're doing that. But you've also got this Arbonne thing online on an app on your phone, and you're getting paid £500 a month. Like, what would you do with the extra £500? Now, for me, having an extra £500 a month, it actually meant I could go to the petrol station and find out how much it cost to fill my car up. Because before Arbonne, I couldn't even put more than £5 in. I had no idea how much it cost to fill my car up because I wouldn't have been able to go into the petrol station and pay for it. The card would have declined. It meant that I was able to stop my husband working overtime. So at the time, he was working 7 days a week, and having ME, chronic fatigue, is not a good idea to be working overtime. So I was able to ease him off from working overtime. So it just opened up more doors for us. That extra £5 a month was heavenly. And then I kept sharing these products, sharing this information, and my business got to a point where it was turning over $10,000 a month, which was amazing. And I was promoted to area manager. So it took me 6 months to become an area manager. Let us know on the call if you've promoted to area manager. Sarah, how long did it take yourself?
It took me a year.
Yeah, okay. That's still really quick though, I will say that. So 6 months for me for area manager, and I was actually earning about £2,000 a month here. So some people a little bit less, some people a little bit more. What would an extra £2,000 a month look like for you doing this on an app on your phone around your busy life? So for me, this was when I booked our trip to Disney. So I was like, I'm straight online, I'm booking that trip to Disney. It meant that we were able to save up for a mortgage to buy a house, because we were not on the property ladder at all. And I thought, with my bad credit rating as well, I was like, we're never going to be able to get approved for a mortgage. I thought, you know, if I can start saving some of this money from Arbonne, we can actually buy a house in the next couple of years in just cash. Like, here you go, £200,000, boom, no mortgage. Like, if I keep building it and building it. So that's what it meant for us. Your business is also willable at level 2. So any parents on the line, like, give us a little hi if you've got children or fur babies. You can actually will this business to your children or to a partner or to a parent or a friend. And so if anything happens to you, that money that you're making, that £2,000 a month, is given to the person that you've willed your business to. You know, it's an asset. Amazing. You keep talking about the products and your business hits level number 3. and I hit level number 3 in 11 months, and that's regional vice president. So let us know in the comments if you've hit level 3 before. Sarah, how long did it take you?
It took me 3 years to get to region.
Amazing. So
I qualified after 2 years, but didn't quite promote, and then it took me a year, and it's just because my business wasn't quite ready. And then after 3 years, we were ready. It was time.
Yes. So at this point, you tend to earn roughly somewhere between about £5,000 a month. Sometimes it's a little bit less, sometimes it's a little bit more. For me, it was around £7,000 a month. Now, this is like 11 months into my business, I hit level 3. What would that mean for you? For us, my husband left his job. I was like, ring your boss up, who was not a very nice man. You're not going back again. And we were actually able to start doing things that we'd always dreamed of. So I actually work for 2 different charities. I'm able to do a lot of volunteer work. My children at school are the only children at school that have mum, dad and grandma at everything. Star of the Week, Assembly, Harvest Festival, the Nativities, when they do these random like talent show things that just come out of nowhere and you think, where did school even think about that? They are having the audience, mum, dad and grandma. Some of the kids there don't have anybody there to support them. Now, that was me as a child, so I'm 100% not judging anybody that can't be at their children's school, because sometimes you've got to do what you've got to do to keep a roof over your head. But for me, I thought, if I can build this business, if I dedicate a couple of years to building this, it means that my children never have to have that sunken feeling in their stomach that I felt as a child. Like, I want us all to be there in the audience. It meant that every time my daughter had a seizure and was rushed into hospital, she had her mum and her dad there. Now, if anybody's on the line now that's got a child with disabilities or additional care needs, you know how stressful it is when you are the main person that has to take care of them, and having that extra adult there as a bit of support is priceless. So when my husband was able to be with us every single time these things were happening to my daughter, which were weekly, having that extra person there, you cannot put a price on that. And that's what it meant for us at level 3. And obviously myself and Sarah got our Mercedes at that level as well, which is amazing. So what would an extra £7,000 a month look like for you in your life? Now, I kept building my business, and I actually reached level number 4, which is the top level. From start to hitting level 4, it took me 4 years, and I know Sarah's literally knocking on the door of there as well. Now, at this point, my income is no less than £10,000 a month. Now, for some people, it's a lot more than that. I'm quite new at the top level. I've only been at the top level for about 4 or 5 months now. Some people are earning much, much, much more than that. Now, this means that my business turns over $2 million. Like, the fact that my online app has $2 million of people shopping on my app, like, that's a lot of fisting. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's incredible. Every day jumps a couple of £1,000s. It is amazing, and you get paid a percentage of that. So now it means that I'm thinking, this money's crazy. It's lovely that there's so many people that are benefiting from these products and benefit from the business, but let's start donating it to charities. Like, let's start putting it into avenues where it really needs to be put. So when you've got all this money coming in, it means you can start putting that money in places that are close to your heart. If there's charities that you think, gosh, what I would do to give that charity like £1,000 every single month, you can actually do that with this business. So it really, really does make a difference. What would it mean for you if you had an extra £10,000 a month every month coming into your bank account? It also means that with this business, like I was saying at the beginning, it takes away all the stress. You don't feel stressed about anything anymore. Everything's quite relaxed, quite easy. It has been so worth building this business. And I'm not going to sit here and say, it's the easiest thing in the world, because no business is. Like, every business takes effort, but it is so simple. All we do, Sarah and I, is we use these products and we just tell people what we think. And that is basically the gist of it. Like, it's not really any hardship, really. It is so much fun, and we get to really enjoy ourselves. Like, we're going to be going to Punta Cana together in October in the Dominican Republic. The trips that you get to go on are unbelievable. We're off to Las Vegas in a few weeks. The trips are amazing, and just all the, Arbonne are associated with Mercedes. Arbonne are linked with Tiffany's. Like, we get Tiffany jewelry. It's just amazing. So, Sarah, anything you want to add in there?
I just wanted to say thank you so much for having me on the call. It's been absolutely brilliant. It's always wonderful to hear your stories. And yeah, I obviously can't see the comments and the likes from where I'm sitting, but if anyone's got any questions, then I'm happy to answer any of them tonight. But I can honestly say that it was the best business decision for me, regardless of how busy I was, and regardless of how much I thought I didn't need it in my life, or that I didn't have time for it. I can honestly say, all I've cut out to do Arbonne is a bit of shit TV. Honestly, because you know, I might get up half an hour before the kids in the morning. Like the only thing I watch on TV now is Game of Thrones. It is the only thing. I don't watch the news. I'm a bit too emotional for the news anyway. But yeah, that's all I did, was just cut out a bit of TV a night. And there you go, job done, 10 hours a week right there. And I've never put in more than 10 hours a week into my business. And if I've got a team of, say, 100 people all putting 10 hours a week into my business and their business, then I'm getting paid on 1,000 hours a week of business. Most people trade time for money. They work an hour, they get paid an hour. And I get paid, you know, in excess of 1,000 hours per week. It's a genius business model.
It is. Do you still watch The X Factor or not?
Do I still watch it?
Yeah.
I love it. I'm absolutely obsessed with it.
Who's, over the whole duration, I think it's been on for about 13 years, who's been your most memorable? Like which person stands out the most? Let us know in the comments as well, like who you think of when you think of X Factor.
Oh goodness, I can't even think now.
I always think of
Jedward. Massive 1D fan.
Oh, One Direction. I was like, who? Oh, One Direction.
Yeah, and actually it was nice because Louis was a judge last year. And although the judges kind of keep themselves to themselves, so like we were looking after the contestants, and then, I mean, it was a bit like being in Fame, because like there was someone around each corner or on the stairwell practicing their harmonies, or it was a joy. It was an absolute joy.
Oh wow, I always really like Jedward. Are you watching Britain's Got Talent as well?
No, I don't watch that.
Do you know what? We haven't watched it for years and years and years, but our kids, my girls are 7 and 8, so they're a little bit older now. And for the first year ever, I introduced them to Britain's Got Talent a couple of weeks ago, and there's only been 2 episodes so far. Let us know in the comments if you guys are watching it. My kids are loving it. They're like, when's that Britain's Got Talent on again? Like, they're not quite got the concept of you've got to wait a week between episodes. Like, who won then? I'm like, you have to wait. Like, ah.
And everyone loves Simon. I mean, everyone just loves him. He's like the baddie, but he's like got a good heart. He's brilliant. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love it. Right. Well, Sarah, we've took so much of your time tonight. Thank you so much. The call, you'll be able to see it afterwards, has gone crazy. We hit 90 people at one point on the call live. The comments are like constant. Whoever's commented the most will win some strawberry fizz stick. I will be sending them out tomorrow. I'll go back and have a look. But for now, thank you so much, Sarah. We really appreciate and adore everything that you're doing. And thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you for having me, everyone. Good luck. And if you're sitting on the fence and you're thinking about, shall I jump in, shall I not? Honestly, just jump in, because what's the worst that can happen? I mean, what's the best that can happen?
Exactly. Right, bye everybody. Bye.